Hi, my name is Cynthia, founder of ATX Yoga Girl, and I just want to share a little bit about winter practices versus spring practices. And I always get asked about resolutions that I reflect on in the new year. And, truly, many cultures don't acknowledge the calendar new year as like truly the new year energetically. There is the Chinese New Year that just happened February 17th. March 21st is the spring equinox. And there's so many different types of changes that happen from the time period on the calendar from winter to spring that in my mind, it's more of a reflective time than a resolution time. So I think of reflecting on kind of what's been happening in the past year, setting intentions moving forward, and I take this as really a time of reflection. So less of the noise in my mind of new year, new you, and more in January, February time of setting really beautiful goals of more rest and kind of recharge and conservation, where spring is more of like an activation. When you think of Chinese medicine, there's yin and the yang, and so in the springtime it calls for a little bit more yang energy. We're waking up, but in the wintertime, more of that yin conservation time. And especially in the female body, we are really taking cues from light exposure. We're taking cues from the weather, our circadian rhythm shifts, and energy availability is very different in the winter versus the spring. So when I think of moving forward and starting a new gym membership or something, it's really not for me time for my body to say let's move and let's move, because I like to keep my rhythm and my sleep pattern and my workload really with how the circadian rhythm of nature is going. The days are different with daylight. Our melatonin production shifts, and it really decreases in the winter, allowing us to maybe rest more. Sometimes people push through it, and that's okay, but it is a time that for spring that our energy will improve without forcing it. So that light exposure also helps to boost the serotonin, which improves the mood and motivation. So for me, I do set intentions at the beginning of the calendar year, but not resolutions, because I want them to really stick. And more for me, intentions are, how can I listen to my body? What does my body need? How can I still work and be in wellness and teach yoga and meditation without forcing too much to happen or forcing my schedule to be so busy? And really taking cues from the light. So my sleep pattern is really changed. I sleep a little bit later in the winter time, and I wake up or I go to bed a little bit earlier, really thinking of when sunset at that point. Now, all of this is not just my mindset, it's actually photobiology. When you think of how our light exposure affects our hormones and how our melatonin and serotonin shift. And so this is, much more than me saying I want to conserve in the winter season and not set resolutions. It's really, I just don't have enough energy available in my body to do so many seasonal things like resolutions that may be popular. But I really follow energetically the seasonal shifts. And in Texas, we don't have we don't have the 4 seasonal shifts, but we do with the rhythm of the sun. We do have those shifts. So I just really follow that format of like, how's my mood shifting in this season? What energy is available for me? How are my hormones shifting and my metabolism shifting? I eat much differently in the winter time than I do in the springtime. And so when I think about resolutions versus intentions, I'm able to spend more time not to have a resolution that might not stick, but to set an intention that is taking me forward and actually going to be something that I live into for the spring and even the summertime, a little bit longer versus maybe the first January and February months of the year. And so I mentioned earlier that in many cultures, they really look at the calendar year being on different dates than our January 1st. And recently, the Chinese New Year was February 17th. And this particular year is the year of the fire horse. And what that really is it helps to support us in our momentum moving forward, that energy. Where last year was the year of the snake, and it was more of a transformative year. And you may be feeling that also, that last year was like a lot of shedding, a lot of release of bad, habits or mindset that wasn't supporting you. And this year is really moving also our body so that we won't have stagnant energy. So what does that look like for you to move your body, to listen to your body and be really in tune with it and move forward? This year, or also starting this year, this kind of young energy, which is the fire energy, is really also asking us to focus on not just moving forward with that momentum, but how can we ignite more self-care and regulate our nervous system, manage our stress, and maintain balance. And I know one way that I do that is to not put the pressure at the beginning of January to set those resolutions. I've learned that it's much more intentional for me to wait and to shift into March time to really think like, okay, what will it look like for me now that everything's kind of opening up and budding and blossoming? How will I use that energy that I've conserved to move forward in more momentum? So I hope that that helped a little bit. That's just the way that I think about winter and the shifts and reflection for me. And I just wanted to share. Again, my name is Cynthia, founder of ATX Yoga Girl. Hope to see you soon.